Here in this video, we will be going over all of your Tesla stock breaking news today. But I think even more important than that, we will talk about the state of the markets and what could happen next for Tesla stock. We will also discuss what the option flows look like, the short interest, and much more. But first up, let's get into your Tesla breaking news. Elon Musk confirms the FSD will have chill, standard, and hurry modes. This comes after ex-user Galley says FSD is too aggressive for me. Even chill mode. Can we have turtle mode that is super duper cautious and slow? The perception of FSD safety is challenged by rapid acceleration and jerky moves. Everyone should start on turtle mode, which I do agree with that. FSD can be a little bit more aggressive than I like to drive. I drive with the presumed narrative that everyone around me is either stupid or half blind. So I tend to be a little bit more cautious, slowing down or outright stopping at intersections that are, well, I live in Michigan, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Well, if you can't see both sides and there's a certain couple that I feel should have stop signs or just red lights or lights overall at them, I'll slow down there because I'm not going to assume that someone else is stopping when I can't see the road, right? Hopefully that makes some sense. FSD just goes right through those instances, whereas, I'm going to assume people are either stupid or half blind. So I do agree with that post. Some kind of like turtle mode, some more super cautious mode would probably be a good thing. Tesla's spring update adds ability to view the cabin filter's health. Tesla has started sending out invites to their 2024 annual shareholder meeting at Giga Texas. Elon Musk confirms his pay package deal allows him to sell enough stock to pay the taxes on the deal. The remaining stock must be held for 5 years, so it is impossible for Elon to cash out and run. Tesla is no longer offering the silver Gemini wheel covers in the US and have made the dark wheel covers standard, and dark used to cost $500 extra. This change goes into effect for Giga Shanghai, Fremont, and Giga Texas, but the Model Y coming out of Giga Berlin mainly still offers the 19-inch silver wheels. CEO of Huawei in China said this: while FSD is welcomed in China, Huawei's smart driving is superior to FSD. It also performs better with LiDAR. He expressed his willingness to compete with who is better at FSD's entry into China. Of course, a rival or competition would say this, but I think the proof is out there that FSD is far superior. Tesla is now offering 0% APR for the Model Y inventory vehicles in Hong Kong. Tesla has also reduced the prices of the Model 3 and the Model Y in Denmark. The price cuts are up to $5,000 on the Model Y, and they are now the lowest prices ever in the country. Now, moving on to Tesla stock specifically, Tesla at one point on Friday hit a low of about $173 and some change. Now, you ended up seeing quite an aggressive rally towards the end of the day that sent Tesla stock to about $178 per share to close out the trading day. You were down 1/3% in after hours, down to $177.52 per share. Good news is we got back above this 20-day moving average, and there has been incredible amounts of volatility in Tesla stock. For an example, Thursday's high of the day was almost $183 per share. The low of the day was $175 per share. And then yesterday, back up to 180, back down to as low as, 173 and some change. There has been huge volatility, and I expect this will continue, and I think volatility is going to get even more extreme heading into June 13th. I do think the PCE report that we got on Friday was great news. I mean, the slowest increase in inflation we have seen so far in 2024, and that end of the day rally even further accelerated in after hours. IWM was up 0.84% to close out the trading day. Just take a look at that end of the day rally on a Friday. That's huge. and you even rallied 0.33% in after hours. Now, I referenced Tesla to small cap stocks. Now, obviously, Tesla's not a small cap stock. If you're unfamiliar, Tesla's market cap is way up there, $600+ billion. So it's not a small cap stock by definition, but it is kind of like a small cap stock. It's interest rate sensitive. It's, heavily correlated to the economy. If the economy is booming, well, Tesla's going to boom. Small caps are going to boom. If rates fall, Tesla's going to boom. Small caps are going to boom. So in those regards, Tesla is very much like a small cap company, or maybe a small cap company is like Tesla, whichever way you want to put it. So if small caps can have room to rally here, I think Tesla can as well. Now, this PCE report is going to be followed up on by a jobs report coming out next week. According to Tom Lee, he says you should buy the dip in stocks before next week's jobs report. Lee said that April's core PCE data showed cooling inflation, and prior releases have been a tailwind for stock prices. He says we see high probabilities that stocks perform well into next week's May jobs report. He said this is the best core PCE month over month for all of 2024 and supportive of the notion that inflation pressures are abating. We believe these improvements are sustainable. Housing is decelerating at a steady pace and converging on the market-based measures, which are not showing 6% year-over-year growth rates, Lee said. Core PCE excluding housing grew at 0.22% month over month, down from 0.31% month over month in March. And the year-over-year has been dripping lower to 2.15% versus 2.19% year-over-year in March. So outside of housing, PCE inflation is on target. And I really think this could fuel a multi-week rally until we get the next inflation report, or again, the jobs report, if that goes good, could just help further this rally. But I do think Tesla's in a very interesting situation right now, because you have your big catalyst June 13th, and the fact that there is kind of, an argument for both sides. Your proxy firms have said do not reinstate Elon's comp package, whereas retail investors, most institutions that want to see Tesla stock do well, have said yes, vote yes for reinstating Elon's comp package. I think there's a lot of uncertainty from the average investor out there to what's going to happen on June 13th. Now, whether this is correct or not, whether this would happen or not, here's the deal. Wall Street is saying if Elon's comp package does not go through, Elon could leave Tesla. Now, whether or not you think Elon would leave Tesla, I don't care. The markets don't care. You shouldn't care. Keep your personal opinions aside. The odds of Elon leaving Tesla would rise according to the markets. When odds rise that something negative could happen, stocks tend to sell off because of that. Now, we can only speculate because there's no way to definitively figure this out. But how much of the premium multiple Tesla is given is factored in because of Elon Musk being the CEO. Now, probably 25-30% of Tesla's valuation is Elon Musk itself, or himself. Now, that's my speculation. At least 20% on the high end, like 30+%. So, just to put it simply, if this vote does not go through on June 13th, you could see big downside. If the vote does go through the way that we hope and Elon's comp package is reinstated, like I believe it will, well, then you see likely large upside. And that's the base case assumption. I think when over 70% of retail investors own Tesla stock, as long as you can get those retail investors to actually vote their shares, we're going to be just fine. Okay. The issue will be getting all shareholders, or a majority of shareholders, to actually vote for this. Because if the big firms vote no, it's going to take a lot more, single retail investors to outweigh that. Nonetheless, after June 13th, you're going to see a big up move or a big down move. And judging off of that, I mean, Tesla could rally with the markets, but not that much. Okay, there is going to be a lid on the upside and likely the downside heading into June 13th. Now, depending on where the markets are and what the narrative is coming June 13th, again, we're going to have our CPI report coming June 12th. We're going to have the next jobs report coming next week. There's going to be a lot of things working, hopefully in favor for the markets. If June 13th goes well, that could really boost Tesla stock in a big way. I mean, likely into the 200s, maybe 230s, 240s by June 13th, well, the week after June 13th. And as I have mentioned here on this channel a couple of times now, you are seeing a ton of multi-million-dollar put trades. Now, these are not trades that are speculating on downside in Tesla. These are trades that are genuinely trying to hedge a larger position, because hedge funds and institutions are saying if Elon's comp package does not go through, Tesla stock could fall a lot, and we want to hedge our, multi-$100 million Tesla position with a couple $1 million in puts, right? I think that's probably the smartest thing to do if you're a hedge fund and institution. I think you almost have to do that if you are a hedge fund or institution because of the huge price swing that you could see following June 13th. For better or for worse. Now, as I have said before here in different videos over the past couple of days, when you see these trades that are $5, $10, $15, $20 million a piece that are buying 240, 250, 260, 270 puts expiring by June 21st with no break even, they're basically a 1-to-1 ratio to hedge a position, market makers have to go out and short a lot of stock. So that's kind of why I think some of the upside could be limited if we even do go through some kind of broad market rally between now and June 13th. After June 13th and this vote hopefully goes the way, again, we expect, Elon's comp package gets reinstated, then I think you could see a big catch-up effect in Tesla stock, and that's where I would expect to see an outsized rally compared to the broader markets. Now, it's also worth remembering that Tesla still has a multi-year high short position, 3.79% short interest of free flow, $18.77 billion currently sold short in the stock. That does equate to about 105 million shares that are sold short. On Friday, you had cost of borrow fees of about 3%. It looks like borrowed shares of 1.07 million, return shares of 1.71 million. So when, at the same time, some hedge funds, institutions are hedging out long positions, there's also going to be a lot of speculators and people wanting to get into Tesla before June 13th. So I don't think it's all just hedging, right? There's both sides of this, but there's a lot more hedging than you see on any just normal week or even event for that matter for Tesla. June 13th is way more important than an earnings, a CPI report, any of your other just normal catalyst. So I think you're going to see a lot more hedging heading into June 13th itself. Over on StockTwits, sentiment for Tesla is bullish at 57 today. Yesterday, it was bearish at 42. Message volume is low today at 39. Yesterday, it was normal at 53. And the participation ratio today is high at 55, which is better than where we have been recently, hitting as low as about 53. Google Trends data still looks strong for the Tesla lineup. The Cybertruck is 75, the Model Y at 37, the Model 3 at 23, the Model S at 11, and the Model X at 9. Suggesting we're probably going to get a pretty good earnings coming here around June 20th or so. Could be the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in those couple of days. We don't have the day yet confirmed by Tesla, but we should get that confirmed here in this next upcoming week. We should also get Tesla's Q2 delivery number coming on the 3rd of June. Normally it's the 2nd of June, but if it usually comes out on a Monday of the first week of a new quarter. So that should be June 3rd. So on top of everything else going on, well, that's going to be a big catalyst for Tesla stock as well. Tesla is currently running about 4,000 different ads with Google. Google Trends data for full self-driving is falling to 23, but still trending a lot higher than where you trended basically at any other point in Tesla's FSD history. So this would suggest the take rate is likely higher now than it was before, and maybe there's even more people that continue to sign up for full self-driving. The market's fear and greed index is neutral at 58, with market momentum, greed, stock price strength, fear, stock price breadth, fear, put and call options neutral, market volatility neutral, safe haven demand, greed, and junk bond demand neutral. Also setting up to be a pretty big catalyst for markets and Tesla is July 31st. I believe that is when you are going to get the first cut by the Fed. Currently, there's only about a 16% chance of that, according to the markets. There's an 83.8% chance of a continued pause, but I do think if we get a jobs report that comes in a little bit light this week, if the next CPI report comes in light, the CPI report for July, the jobs report for July comes in light, you could very easily price in the first cut by July 31st. There's still 2 more CPI reports, 2 more jobs reports, 2 more durable goods reports, 2 more ISM services manufacturing reports, basically 2 of everything besides GDP from now until July 31st. And if the markets do start to price in that cut July 31st and the economy is still doing okay, then I do think that, well, will lead to a much larger summer rally for Tesla and broad markets. Nonetheless, here in the short term for Tesla on a technical basis, you want to stay above that 20-day moving average, but heading into June 13th, I'm expecting a range here, anywhere from about 182, where this 100-day moving average is to the upside, and that 50-day moving average on the downside at about $172 per share. Call it a $10 fluctuation is what I'm expecting, and what we've seen over the past 2 days is exactly that, a huge fluctuation, and I think it's going to get even more volatile again heading into June 13th. So far, so good though. Tesla's RSI is neutral at 52.2. Tesla's MACD is still positive, although the MACD line is under the signal line. That's kind of a short-term negative signal, if you will, but not a big deal. And let me tell you right now, if the vote goes through on June 13th like we expect, Tesla stock is going to shock the world, okay? Or at least the investment world, because Tesla stock, yeah, is going to have a lot of rallying to do. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. You do not want to miss the last video. We're going to go, or the next video, we're going to go more in depth on all of your catalysts, the delivery number that will be coming out this upcoming Monday, and what I think Tesla stock can ultimately do over this summer as long as the vote goes through as we expect it will on June 13th. So that is going to do it for this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekends. I will see you in the next one.